In a matter of hours, Murder Mystery 2 went from 1.2 million players on it at one single moment to only 200,000, losing a million players in less than 12 hours. The biggest and fastest downfall of a Roblox game in history, but what happened to it is not as simple as you guys may think, and in today's video, I'll be explaining everything that's happened with Murder Mystery 2 and why Murder Mystery 2 is starting to collapse. Real quick, feel free to like this video and subscribe, it means the world to me, but either way, let's get right into the video because this is one of the craziest stories in the history of Roblox. Now, as you guys probably know, Murder Mystery 2 is the biggest game on Roblox, or at least it was. For the past few weeks after the summer updates of the game, it has been the biggest game on the platform, being #1. And even though the game's been out for over 12 years, only a few days ago it hit its peak player count of all time of 1.35 million players, which is a genuinely insane amount. And that many players in a game is genuinely insane, especially for one of the oldest games on Roblox. It's genuinely crazy. However, while that may seem cool, a developer having a game that has been around for over a decade, getting the most players it's ever gotten and blowing up massively again, there are some darker sides to the virality of this game that resulted in its major downfall in a matter of less than a day. Because the entire massive blow up of the game, going from averaging about 100,000 players a couple months ago to averaging the high 100,000s to even over a million players in a matter of months, was almost entirely fake. This is genuinely one of the most craziest situations in Roblox's history and is quite complicated to explain, but I'm going to be breaking down everything because this is a situation that will dictate the future of Roblox forever. Now the thing is, Murder Mystery 2 has been one of the biggest games on Roblox for a long time. Even back in 2020 and 2021, it was averaging over 100,000 players and has continued to be one of the biggest with also a massive community. There is a lot of people who are big YouTubers on the game, there's massive fan base, there's a whole economy inside of the game with all the skins, and I would say it's one of the most tried and tested games on the platform that has consistently stayed popular for its entire time it's been out, which is over 12 years. However, looking at the chart of the game from all the way back in 2020 to now, you'll notice a massive spike in the recent months. Not even in the recent year, but you'll notice that it has massively gone up within the past couple months. And the thing is, this entire spike and blow up, which seems to be one of the craziest in the history of the platform, is fully entirely fake. Now basically last year I made a video exposing something going on Roblox in games that are not just Murder Mystery 2. You see, there are a lot of people that started to realize that there were a lot of fake players inside of Roblox games. Blox Fruits was one that had a lot, Murder Mystery 2, Pet Simulator, and those games had a lot of fake accounts populating the servers. There was a lot of footage of them filling up servers in games, fully botted servers with this the same username, slightly changed, the same avatar, and it had become a major problem that many people talked about. However, most people started to forget about it until situations started happening with Murder Mystery 2. Now basically, Murder Mystery 2 is one of the special games on Roblox that has an economy to it and a trading system, meaning that there are knives inside of the game that have different rarities, different values that you could get many years ago or more recently, pay Robux for, or open in crates. And this is one of the reasons the game is still popular, is because of this core economy that is inside of the game. Now what I'm about to explain happened last year and the years prior, but not to the level that we've seen this year, and is on a different tier than we have ever seen before. Now basically, the summer updates of the game came out around late July, and prior to this I already explained that there was a major issue inside of the game in my video talking about how it doesn't have much time left. And in this video I basically brought attention to what's going on inside the game that people were posting on TikTok and talking about on YouTube, and that had become a major problem. You see, inside of Murder Mystery 2 there are not hundreds, there are not thousands, but there are tens of thousands of servers inside of the game filled entirely with these accounts that have no Robux, a basic AI generated username, that are invisible inside of the map. But as soon as you go inside of the game and you start playing it, or you turn on the spectate feature, you'll notice these characters going through the walls of the game, teleporting around somehow, collecting the coins or the beach balls from the summer update, and farming these on not thousands, not tens of thousands, but hundreds of thousands of accounts. And so what has started to happen is the game has started to be populated with hundreds of thousands of bot accounts. Before this was really a major issue, looking back to maybe 2023, the game averaged a solid 70 to 100,000 players, depending on the season and what updates had come out, and it was fairly normal to see it around this level. But you guys will notice that over time it started to average more and more, which is usual with a game that's blowing up. However, the issue is there's also one statistic to the game that needs to be pointed out that nobody is talking about that shows that there's something more sinister going on. You see, zooming into 2026, you'll notice something changed in the game. Not only is it dipping much less in comparing this chart versus this chart, you guys can see that in 2026 the chart dips a lot less. There's a lot less real player activity where people, step away from an event, or an event comes back, or it's nighttime in one place and daytime. There's a lot less fluctuation in the player count versus another game, let's say for example Welcome to Bloxburg, which even though it's a smaller game, you guys can see the charts of the game on the daily chart. Murder Mystery 2 seemingly lost this level of fluctuation. You see, these bot accounts basically operate in massive bot farms that are ran by people using tons of computers. Here's some footage of one in a different game that is fully off of Roblox called Counter-Strike 2, and this is likely an example of what it looks like for Murder Mystery 2 skins. And I'll explain why these bots even exist in the first place in just a moment. violent. But Roblox decided to do something, and you'll notice the chart of the game reacted to it, because all of these bot accounts are basically just brand new, fresh Roblox accounts that have been created that have just been sent into the game immediately. Taking a look at the chart of the game, you'll notice in the past day, it went from averaging 1.2 million players to under 250,000, which is one of the most insane, mind-boggling downfalls that I have ever seen in my life. The amount of people that left the game is not like some update disappeared or people got bored of it at the same time. This is on another level that cannot be seen by real human players, because all that's left inside of the game is the real people who are playing it. The bots have been wiped out entirely. But all of this gets even crazier, as the next morning after the game lost all these players, it gained them all back, and by midday it was almost back to 1 million players. But then again, it lost everything and went even further than it did the day before, dropping from 1 million players down to 200,000 in a matter of hours, doing the exact same thing it did the day before, which is one of the most mysterious and unique things I've ever seen happen on Roblox ever. It seems to me that what I'm about to explain in this video seemingly worked, and then stopped working, and then worked again, and now the game is in sort of a limbo state. That is because Roblox implemented an update that no longer allows bot accounts to join games, which as a result, Murder Mystery 2 lost over 500,000 players in 2 hours. You'll notice in this image right here, it says this game has enabled additional hardware security requirements. Please run Roblox on a supported device. What this basically means is that these bot accounts are being run on things like virtual private servers, which basically is another way to say a digital computer. Things like this, or fake devices that were being used to make thousands of bot accounts, have basically been fully caught and struck down by Roblox, which has resulted in almost 1 million bots leaving Murder Mystery 2 entirely. It went from reaching its all-time peak in players a couple days ago to losing over 500 people in 2 hours. The thing is, at first people thought it was a massive bot ban wave. Like Creecraft even tweeted out saying that what it was, over half the players in MM2 were bots, but it wasn't a ban wave. Roblox manually implemented something that basically created something for bots that fully caught them due to hardware security requirements. But you guys may be wondering, why are there so many bots in the game and how could they just get wiped out just like this? You see, as I mentioned, Murder Mystery 2 has an economy that gives values to knife skins and gun skins inside of the game. There's a rarity to things, there's a reason to grind it during the events, and so when the new summer update came out to the game, hundreds of thousands of bots came in to farm the event and get all of the crates and the rarest skins from it, because there is a value and an economy to things. I'm not going to be showing anything on screen because this is fully against Roblox's terms of service, literally illegal on Roblox, but people basically sell skins in the game for real life money. That's what they do. They sell in-game skins for real money. And this is over a multi-$100,000 business just because of how many people play the game and how much demand there is. And so these companies do what they can to farm these things that would normally take a real person hours and hours to grind, and instead have thousands of accounts do it with some sort of cheating client or whatever to farm as much as they can of whatever they can, and the developers can't do anything about it. This has been an issue for a long time, and now we've seen it at its absolute peak worst. And I'm gonna be honest, there's things the developers could have done to fully stop these bots, but I'm guessing either Roblox realized this is a major problem, or maybe they saw my video, what's up Roblox, and implemented an update that basically wiped them out entirely. And this is honestly crazy because the projections people had saying that okay, maybe it was a few 100,000 players, but it was still the biggest game on Roblox, were fully wrong. Turns out it went from 1.3 million players one day to under 210,000 the next day. Genuinely crazy numbers to see. I honestly never expected it to be this insane of a downfall, but man, it's genuinely insane, and I can't say I'm too surprised. The thing is, most other games on Roblox, I wasn't really able to find any others that were hit as hard as Murder Mystery 2. It seems that Murder Mystery 2 was the most egregious one with this botting issue. However, the thing is, I do not think it's the only one with this many bots and this percentage of bots in the game. As you guys could see in that screenshot that said this game has enabled additional hardware security, I think that this update isn't on the whole platform, and it only happened to Murder Mystery 2 after enough people spoke out about it. I feel like once people realized that this was such a big problem and Roblox basically couldn't ignore it, they implemented this update on Murder Mystery 2. But there's a lot of other games like Blox Fruits that have tens of thousands of bot accounts filling up the game, even Grow a Garden 2. And so I'm interested if Roblox is going to implement this across the platform, because it worked on Murder Mystery 2. It went from being the biggest game on the platform to the 4th biggest in a matter of hours, which is crazy to me to see. But tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you guys think that Roblox is doing the right thing? Because in my opinion, I think they are. They're finally cracking down on this botting problem, which is really horrible, and just faking everything on the platform. However, there may be some issues, with like investors seeing this and thinking that the platform's dying when it's just them cracking down on bots. That's also a possibility. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below, but either way, that's going to be it. Have an amazing day and take care.